uni student and loving to bake is honestly a bit of a struggle sometimes because you don't have the really fancy equipment that you see online. So when I found these apple cinnamon muffins, I thought this is the best thing ever. First, you're going to start off by making a crumble on the top with sugar, butter and some flour and just stirring that all together. Next, you're going to prep your apples by peeling and chopping them all up into really small pieces. This is really quite satisfying for getting all your anger out. Once those are all put aside, you can start actually making your muffin mix with butter and sugar and creaming all that together. This handheld whisk I use is literally like €15 on Amazon, so it is really accessible. Next, put in some yogurt, eggs and vanilla into your mix. Then adding your dry ingredients of flour, baking soda, baking powder and cinnamon. Oh, and a pinch of salt. That's all going to go into your wet mix and then stir in your apples as well. Fill your muffin trays right to the very top. Get as much mix in as possible and then put your crumble over that as well. This is what they should look like going into the oven, and this is what they'll look like after 20 minutes. If you fancy, you can make a drizzle on the top as well with icing sugar, milk and vanilla extract. As you can see, I don't even have a proper whisk. Drizzle that over the top of your muffins and then you're all done. Tasty and perfect for autumn. The internet has decided that baking banana bread for your boyfriend is the equivalent of getting your girlfriend flowers. And honestly, I can't even disagree because I love banana bread. Baking has and will always be my favourite form of telling people that I love them. And yeah, to be honest, I would actually say that getting baked goods is better than flowers. Although that depends on the flowers and the baked good, I suppose. Anyways, that is besides the point. My friend was celebrating some good news today, so I made these banana muffins. I didn't really have enough for a banana bread, but they're still one of my favourite desserts. I think one of the great things about banana bread is that you can customise it however you want. I put chocolate in mine, and everyone appreciates a banana bread. I get a lot of messages looking for advice on university. For those who don't know, I spent 4 years studying a history degree in the University of Edinburgh. There's a lot of very obvious pieces of advice that I'd give, like go to your lectures, do your assignments on time. But I think the one biggest thing that I would say to anyone, whether they're in first year of university or their final year, is go and hang out with your friends. Particularly if you are in a university city where your friends live maybe 15-20 minutes away. Most people that I knew lived literally 5 minutes down the road from me. I could walk to their house. And I definitely think that I took that for granted at the time, because now I definitely cannot do that. It used to be so nice to message my friends just being like, do you want to come over and watch a movie this evening? Or like go to the local pub, go to the student union. So that is definitely the number one piece of advice I would give to anybody in university, because it's definitely the one thing that I've taken for granted. When I came down the stairs this afternoon, my family demanded alfajores, but apparently the ones that you buy from the supermarket taste like plastic, so I had to make them. These are essentially 2 sugar cookies sandwiched between dulce de leche. They're rich, crumbly, and if made correctly, melt in your mouth. These cookies originate from South America, but they do vary based on different regions. In Peru, they coat the edges in powdered sugar, whereas in Argentina, they're coated in coconut. While I can't say that I've ever been to South America, I did try these cookies for the first time in a small Argentinian cafe in London, right in the heart of Elephant and Castle. The man in the bakery asked me if I'd ever tried one before. I said that I hadn't, and he said that I was about to have a life-changing experience. And he was correct. And now alfajores are a staple in the Casey household. There's only one reason in this world that I would willingly get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and that is to watch the Formula 1. It's honestly amusing how emotionally invested I get in these silly little men going around in their silly little cars in circles. Will I continue to watch all the races? Yes. Am I going to get 4 hours sleep because of it? Also yes. And do we all know who's going to win anyways? Most certainly. I realised that my frontal lobe was starting to develop when I stopped wanting to wear tops that went up to here on me, and when I started collecting mugs. Those 2 things are definitely the signs.
But I guess I don't have a say. Now that we don't talk, I told my mom, she said that it was for the best. Remind myself the more I give you what we lost. I cannot be your friend.
Ever since I finished uni, I feel like I've lost quite a big part of my community. People who I used to see every day are no longer around, and everyone's kind of doing different things. It actually took me a few weeks to realise how much I was missing all of my friends. So when 2 of my ex-flatmates were heading off to Greece, I decided to join them, just for a long weekend of relaxing, catching up, and drinking kumquat spritzes. I think the most difficult thing that I've found post-graduation is how my community has become so fragmented. But I am learning that it's not always a bad thing, and you'll always find ways to come together with the people that you love.
I don't wanna call it off, but you don't wanna call it love. You only wanna be the one that I call baby.
To which I'd say, if it swims like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's probably a fucking duck.
I hate the idea that someone out there hates me. I even hate thinking that Al-Qaeda hates me. I think if they got to know me, they wouldn't hate me.
officially moving on to stage 2 of my cake. I nearly broke my first cake putting it onto the tray. I'm gonna put on a couple of spoons of icing and then just spread it evenly across. I'm doing this in my bedroom because my parents are in the kitchen. I'm really afraid they're gonna walk in. Oh my god, this is so scary. This is so scary. Another layer of icing. This is really satisfying. Chocolate cake is actually the best kind of cake. There's no question about it. I'm basically going to spread it all out on the top and let it kind of drip off the sides a bit and then cover it that way. I'm really just winging it. I want a fancier tool for the job because I can't seem to get it right. It looks pretty good to me. I'm just going to scrape the top a little bit just to give it a bit of smoother surface. Brought down my cake and my cards to the kitchen. So this is what they're going to come downstairs to in the morning. I made this card for my mum and this one for my dad. I need to stop talking so I don't make them up. But there you have it. I really hope they like it now. Oh my gosh. It's 7 AM and I'm gonna go for a run. Edinburgh's like ridiculously busy at the moment because of the fringe. It's too much. So I'm gonna get up and out early. I'm really not a pre-workout kind of person. I just don't really like the taste of it, but I do like to take vitamin C before I run. So I'm gonna do that. It is hair wash day, so I'm going to slick back my hair with some of this Damage Remedy Miracle Coconut Oil. That was quite a mouthful actually. I think I'm ready to go. I can definitely do this. It's gonna be fine. It's starting to rain. And it's so windy. Oh my goodness. I'm back home. That was exhausting, but it felt good. And I did well. And I'm proud that I went. It is day 1 back in the motherland, and instead of unpacking my 16 boxes and 3 suitcases, I went shopping and baked instead. Someone really has to make sure that my family get fed because every time I come back into the house there is no food anywhere. I swear there's even cobwebs growing in our cupboards. So I went to Dunn's and sorted out that problem for everyone. Here is my haul, and I really wanted to try and make some chia seeds for breakfast because apparently they're meant to be really good for you. Gut health and all that jazz. And any chia seed connoisseurs will see that there's way too much milk in this thing. Anyways, it was a massive flop, but then I moved on to make some tart. I'm really trying to bake things that I find quite difficult to make, and pastry is one of them. Also this creme patisserie, I wasn't really too sure what I was doing here, to be honest. I think I accidentally cooked my eggs, but it's fine because it all gets covered up with these beautiful strawberries. And I was actually quite impressed with myself, so I finished the day just how I started, sitting on the couch and eating. I have a terrible sense of direction, and being in London fully confirmed this for me. The other day I was trying to get the Northern Line from Tottenham Court Road, and I go down to the station, but the only line that I can find is the Elizabeth line. So I'm just kind of wandering around in circles like a dog chasing its own tail, trying to find the Northern Line. It is just not there. I still don't understand where it was, but it wasn't there, so I had to leave the station, and then I walked around all of the streets around that kind of area for a couple minutes, and there's like a second entrance to Tottenham Court Road that I took, but I've never felt more humbled in my life. A journey that should have taken me 20 minutes took me about an hour and a half.
What's a girl to do? Lying on my bed staring into the blue. Unrequited, terrifying. My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Sure little lovey, shine little light on. Sure little lovey, shine little light on. Sure little lovey, shine little light on. Sure little lovey.
I said, I don't think that he's good for you. How do you know what's good for me? That's my opinion!
It all started on a random Friday after spending 5 whole days in London. I decided to challenge the idea that you can't run away from your problems. Frankly, I'm convinced that you can if you possess even a flicker of physical stamina. Tragically, I do not. In all honesty, I've spent far more time measuring cups of sugar than I have kilometers recently. And yet, here I am, swapping my KitchenAid for my Clifton 9s, and absolutely regretting every single life decision that has led up to this moment. Next thing you know, I'm going to be joining a run club and swearing that matcha doesn't taste like freshly mown grass. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. For now, I'm going to congratulate myself for running 2 whole kilometers before quitting, and reward myself by watching bad Netflix rom-coms in my pajamas.
Call me up if you ever wanna talk. Did I say talk? I'm in box with our gloves off. On site if you're looking for a fight, I can hit you with that.
Turning 21 kind of feels like the most gut-wrenching experience of my entire life, because I never feel satisfied. This isn't in like a I never feel happy kind of way, or like I don't enjoy experiences. It's more like I never feel satisfied with any progress that I make. Okay, what am I doing? I need to put my hair back. This is crazy. I am not someone who ever gives myself credit for doing well. I kind of downplay my own successes by being like, okay, well, these other people are doing like 10 times better than I am. And I feel like it turns into quite a toxic cycle where I never feel like I'm doing enough. I feel like particularly with social media, where you can see what everyone is doing all the time, it creates quite like a toxic little bubble. Also, that's not to say I love social media. I spend far too much time online. But then there are times like today where I'm scrolling through my phone, seeing what people are doing, and I'm like sitting in my bed. I literally didn't get out of bed until like 2 p.m. And I'm thinking, whoa, like, am I a bit of a failure? Which is a bit of a crazy thing to say at the ripe age of 21. But because everyone shows all of their successes online and none of their failures, I always feel like when I fail, it's like a massive, massive deal and the world is going to end. I feel like failure is one of those parts of life I have not dealt with very well ever. One of my biggest fears is turning into like Rory Gilmore. For those who don't want Gilmore Girls, spoilers, scroll off. But basically the Rory Gilmore complex is like someone who is such a tryhard in school, but then when they come out into the real world, they no longer have that kind of like structure in place and suddenly their entire life falls apart. That is my biggest fear. It just terrifies me that I could end up in a Rory Gilmore complex. I got quite deep quite quickly. This was meant to be a very light-hearted, I'm going to the pub. This is what happens when I spend too much time sitting in bed and reading. I go into like an existential crisis.